Welcome to Second Listen Saturday on the Parenting Roundabout podcast, where we share some fun moments from a past episode for your weekend listening pleasure. Look for new episodes every Monday through Friday. Today we're complaining about all those kids' activities that disappointed us. All the sports camps that we thought were going to get our kids into a new sport. All the special needs camps I sent my child to that turned out to just be very expensive, but not really that good for them. You know, and never mind activities, the enormous amount of equipment I bought, thinking, this is the thing that's going to make our family life easy. This is the thing that's going to get my kid to stop doing that annoying thing. And then, into a box it goes in the basement, never to be seen again. So much money. Anyway, what sort of activities have you put your kids in with high hopes that were immediately quashed? Catherine, I'm thinking you probably have a few of these.
Well, the one that I remember the most, disliking the most, was probably gymnastics for my daughter.
Yes.
And not necessarily, she liked it and it was fine, but the overall experience was bad. My son was very young at the time, and there was no good place for him and me to be while she was in there. It was just very inconvenient. And it wasn't necessarily that it wasn't living up to what was promised, but it was just icky. It was just not icky. It was just uncomfortable. It was just not a good experience for the non-participants. More so than the participants. And, that matters. It does. I stopped signing her up for it because I just couldn't deal with the logistics of it. I guess if she had pleaded to continue, I probably would have relented, but she was probably only 5 or 6 at the time, so she didn't have strong opinions, luckily. But then a more recent example was, my son plays hockey, and a lot of the other kids that do hockey in the spring, they do lacrosse, unless they do baseball. But he's never been that into baseball. He did it for a while, but it was never a big thing for him. But a lot of hockey players play lacrosse because there's a lot of skills that kind of translate back and forth. And so he did it, and the first year it was fine. He enjoyed it. But it was fairly disorganized. Very little notice for events and things like that. And then then he did it again, and it was so much worse. Even, far more, constantly practices were being canceled, but then reinstated or rescheduled at the last minute and changed location and time. And, we might have a game on this weekend, but we don't know yet. And on and on, and I'm used to hockey where you got, it wasn't always a consistent schedule in terms of the practices. It wasn't every Monday at this time or whatever, but it was set at the beginning of the season, and it pretty much stayed like that, and especially the games. But anyway, this was just a constant annoyance. And then, just to top it off, the coach was extremely competitive, and not only didn't really let my son play during games, he often didn't let him play during practice.
Oh, for goodness sake.
And that's just completely nonsensical. My kid's Mom, how am I don't know how I can get better if I don't even practice. What on earth is the point of that?
Yeah.
So
that's so disappointing.
So I have a lot of comments about that, obviously.
Yeah.
I think it depends so much on the association or the organization that's, if it's the gymnastics school or the lacrosse association or the figure skating club or whoever it is.
Right.
There's just so much that can go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just not a good fit with your child, but other times it's those external things like not having a decent waiting area for the parents or not, being inconsistent with the schedule or, those are things that have nothing to do with your child's experience with that sport or activity or, the adults, obviously the coaches or the other adults who are interacting with your child, that makes a huge difference too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. What sorts of things have you had that experience with, Nicole?
Many. Yeah, I found it really challenging. Like, first of all, as Catherine said, that there were a lot of activities when, having my son in things, and then, of course, bringing my daughter along because I didn't have the option of leaving her at home at that point. And it was just the logistics of it were challenging. Yeah. So it would be, be all excited and this would be a great experience. And then of course you get there and the waiting area is terrible. There's no room, there's no seating. It's just, So, I remember we took Josh to music lessons for years, and Kristen and I would have to sit out in the car for 45 minutes.
Oh, jeez.
It's just painful because I couldn't, we couldn't go into the music store and sit and wait because she'd be running rampant with all these musical instruments. Not that they should take that into consideration when they're creating their space for students, but it's still an important aspect. He was dead set on the guitar lesson, so he stuck with it. My daughter, when we moved here to Redlands, I tried putting her in a lot of different activities just to help her find her tribe and her people and find something that she loved to do. And once again, it was just the first, I didn't know any better. And the first summer I put her in some outdoor activities, which was a big mistake in Southern California in the summer. Poor girl. I had her out playing soccer in 100-degree heat in one summer camp. I feel bad almost for putting them in some of these situations.
Yeah.
I
do too. I did the same thing of trying to help my daughter find her tribe and find the thing that she was going to be good at. And she was so sweet about it. She would go wherever I pointed her. She would do it. If we stopped, it was always because I decided I wanted to stop it. Yeah. And then she would just cheerfully go on to the next thing when I just there's an endless list of things, we did the soccer camp outside in the summer, and we did a volleyball camp, and we did a lacrosse camp, and we did gymnastics, and we did ballet, and we did, all these different things. And she just merrily went from one to the next. Nothing ever stuck. There was always some reason why it wasn't right. Sometimes it was the waiting area. Sometimes it was the cost. Yeah. Sometimes it was just, I didn't like the way they were treating her. Sometimes it was a short thing that we tried once and never did again. It just the childhood is full of those. It would be horrifying if I ever made a list. And such a good sport she was, but never to the point of saying, hey, I really love this. Can I keep doing it? Just always, okay, Mom.
Yeah.
You say so. And then with my son, there was less just because it was harder for him. But I remember, did you guys do Gymboree? There was a big thing where it was the mommy and me. It was just the constant thing. You got to go. You got to take your little, and he would just, anytime I set him down on the floor, he would make a beeline for the gym mats in the corner and start playing with those. And I think we were finally asked to leave. I don't think that I left out of embarrassment. I think they said, clearly, your son could not be less interested in this, perhaps. We might have gone to more than one place. I can't, because darn it, this is what people do. I have a kid this age. I'm going to do this thing. And he was just whatever. I'll be over here. Have fun, Mom, playing with the parachute. I see something sweaty in the corner. I'm going to go check that out.
That's the other part of it, too, is that I feel like I was so desperately trying to put her into this mold of expectations, or that, everybody plays soccer and everybody plays baseball, and everybody, like, I was trying to put her in all these things, but her personality, that's not her nature.
Yeah.
She's not inclined to do that type of activity. And whereas my son, it was more so. And so I feel bad in a way that I wasn't picking up on that, and that I think I was just desperate for her to do something active in the area that, to help her have her people.
Right.
So.
Well, I think our takeaway from this is 2 new business ideas to add to our list of business ideas.
Mm-hmm,
Number 1 is a local guide service in which we investigate all the different dance and sport and the different kid activities, and we rate it on, is there a waiting area? Is there a bathroom? Is there water available? Is there a place for the sibling to play and be, or do you have to sit in your car? Nobody ever looks at those things. You don't talk about those things on the online ratings, but those are important. Those are those of made or broke programs for our kids in the past, over and above whether it was any good. So somebody needs to come up with that sort of local guide to the adjunct features. Also, can we create a way to give parents an experience of having the normal kid-supporting parent thing without their poor kids having to actually do it? Can we just, all right, moms, go to this waiting room every day, once a week at 6:00, sit, watch kids dancing, go home. There you go.
Now you know what it's like.
Your kid gets to stay home and play with their computer, and you get to go feel like you're doing the parent thing. You get to network with the other parents. You get to watch little girls in tutus, and then you can go home, and your poor child does not have to go through all this stuff that goes with it. Yeah. It's really for you.
Right.
We know.
And we're just going to acknowledge that right from the get. I like it.
Yeah.
Somebody make those things happen. The children of America will say,
All right, you heard it here first.